One of the things that Mamelodi Sundowns is kind of masters is controlling the game even when they don't have the ball. And because of this, a lot of teams struggle, including our team. But what if? What if I said there are just two changes that Kaizer Chiefs can make in order for them to beat this? And they've kind of started doing the other thing. They just need to kind of perfect it. Can they do it? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo. I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakosi Football Club. Okay, right here on the smart board, you have a situation where Mamelodi Sundowns is pressing Chiefs. And what they do with their press, they push this guy to try and press Ukiven, so the ball will not be played to Ukiven. They press that Utitlokwe does not receive the ball. And Shalulilo will be pressing the keeper to make sure that he goes long. And what they are doing basically is they are forcing Kaizer Chiefs not to play the ball through the middle, because this is aimed to block this one. And this one can also block this one. And what they're essentially doing is that, listen, you can have your ball, you can play your ball out wide, but we are not going to let you play it on the other side. So now you advance the ball out wide, and immediately the moment you do that, it's either they push this guy aside to come and press, and now this one is also coming across, and they're blocking any pass that you are trying to make. And the first problem that you are doing as Kaizer Chiefs is that even if you have advanced the ball on the left here, the problem is the starting position of Castillo is up there. You've asked him to give you width. So now what options do you have? The option that you have, because this one is tracking back, so basically Matt is covered, and this one is also trying to come back into midfield and block any pass that goes in. So now what you're left with is go back, or try to kick the ball up front. And the moment you do that, trying to kick the ball, Ukipa Sundowns is not in goal. He stays outside, and then they win the ball back, and then they attack you again, all over. And the first problem, obviously, with the system and how Chiefs is playing is that when we are being pressed like this, we're pressed by Sundowns, eliminate this thing of playing Castillo so wide and putting your midfielders so wide apart, because Slant is inverting. In some cases, it will obviously be this way, because Slant will be the one who's here, so Castillo can be here, and Matt can play here, Quinika can play here. The problem is that we are pushing still the other one. In this case, it's Matlow, because coach is playing Matlow. You have Matlow, who is basically now being shadow covered, or this one is going to come across and cover him, and Castillo will have this man, and this one will have this man over here. So let's say somehow we do play this pass, because they're allowing us to play that pass. Hlanti has the ball, and this guy moves across, and Castillo is the one who's receiving the ball in this case, while this one is making a run behind. Remember, he's also just somewhere here waiting for any through balls, because another thing that I didn't mention in the beginning of the video is that we can also just fix the accuracy of our passes, because there's a lot of space to work with. And Williams got in trouble on Wednesday against Pirates, because he was in this position and the ball was played into this area, and one of the Pirates players was running, and he ended up being tackled, but it wasn't a red card because there were two players who were still covering goal, so it wasn't a clear goal scoring opportunity. As such, they did not benefit, but we can benefit from this if we make the passes accurate enough. But that's not where we are. Where we are is the fact that if you look at the midfield of Kaizer Chiefs, you have Castillo here, the ball is played to him, right? We can swap it with anyone else, or Konika gets the ball here because he's inverting. He gets the ball here. Their instincts are not to take this ball and run with the ball and drive forward with the ball. The first instinct of any of our midfielders is to get the ball and try and find a pass. And the problem with that is most of the time, Sundowns knows how to manage this, because this one is marking him, and you pass the ball to him, but already he's being pressed, so you can't win the ball. Or you pass him here, he's also being pressed. So what ends up happening, you are playing the ball back because you're just deciding to play it safe. But if you had, say, Dolly, I will not count Dolly because I don't think it's realistic for him to start. If, say, you have Umatlo out and you bring on Shabalala, if Shabalala gets the ball in this area, even Usamukelo Zwane is press resistant. He gets the ball here, he can turn this one, and all of a sudden he's driving, and these two defenders will have to make a decision. One of them will have to approach him, and that also leaves now Dupree 1v1 with this defender, and this one is also isolated 1v1 with this one. But if we are just passing the ball around, it doesn't help. Or if we are passing the ball back because we are deciding to be a safe team, it doesn't work for us because Sundowns knows how to manage that space. So the best thing to do is to bring in someone who can eliminate players, who will not be afraid of taking on the players. What they can alternatively do is, this is a situation that you have Gonzalez here, and what Gonzalez has been good and what he has been able to do for the Chiefs since coming on is the fact that he hold up play yake is very good. You play Umatlo really close to him so that when the ball is played to Matlo here, and then we can be able to play these passes to Abo Dupree. The other thing that I said earlier on in the video, spaces between your midfielders, be very small so that you can allow to play these 1-2. You play the ball to him, and if this one presses, Hland is now overlapping. He can just pass the ball, and then he's making a run, and then you're playing him in this side. This one will be forced, this one comes across, we play the ball here, we can score. Even if they come across, he can still play the ball back to Umatlo. Umatlo will have to pre-running because this one is occupied with Ukunika, and we can still create chances with back post and still score. But the key has been that if you are being direct, you need someone who's going to be able to do hold-up play. And as much as we love Dupree playing as a number 9 because we're saying this team plays a very high line, the problem is that they know how to manage us because they know that we are not that accurate in passing. And also when we do try to pass, usually they are pressing us. And if they are pressing us when we're passing, then the passes that we're making are not going to be accurate. And because of that, they win the ball back. So if you play Gonzalez or you play Uranga and you are not always rushing the ball, then they are bringing us further up into the final step of finishing rather than trying to build up from the back, progress the ball through the middle, and then create chances, because it's clear that with that thing we haven't mastered it, especially against the Sundowns, a team that is able to press. So rather than play something that is foreign to you, just try to utilize what you have. And we kind of saw that in the second half against Sundowns, that when Chiefs brought on Gonzalez, they were playing direct balls, and Gonzalez was winning those balls and was feeding those balls to Dupree in that case. If it doesn't work, then just play a 4-4-2. I know I'm not a big fan of a 4-4-2, but a 4-4-2 has been the closest thing that has kind of given Sundowns any problems, because if you are playing a big striker and a running striker, then all the big striker will be doing is laying the ball off to Dupree, and Dupree can find these guys who will be running wide, which will not be Umatlo for sure. This is where Saile can also come in. If you are playing with Matt and Castillo, you still have Saile running wide, and these two guys in the middle, bring him here. Saile and Matt, and then you have Modi on the left, Dupree here playing with Gonzalez. So these balls are being played in this sense, and you are giving it width by Saile or Potsane out wide, and he's still running in because also with the headers and physicality can give them something. What do you guys think about tomorrow's game? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya.